basic dough what we're going to make, and on that we're going to put toppings. Okay, so different toppings, like we're going to put, today we're going to put onion, tomatoes, capsicum, all this we're going to put on top of it, and plus cheese also. It is slightly different than your pizza, because pizza has a pizza sauce in between. Here we don't have all that. Okay, so we just are going to put toppings on top of it. You can, the toppings also can vary, whatever you want to put you can put inside it. Like if you, today we are making a veg savory bread, so that's the reason there is no chicken or something. If you want to put chicken or something, it has to be cooked and then put inside it. Okay, so let's look at the ingredients.
Ingredients used are refined flour, yeast, grain sugar, fat, salt, water, onions, tomato, capsicum, cheese, chili flakes, mixed herbs, salt. First we are going to start making the dough with the refined flour. This is the normally how dough we make. We start with sugar, then yeast, and little water, and start mixing it properly. Mix it properly and start making the dough over here. Take all the flour together inside it. Make sure your flour is sieved properly and keep adding water slowly to it and keep kneading it. Kneading is a very important part over here. Okay, keep kneading it, keep adding water and keep kneading it. Make sure you're incorporating all the flour which is around and keep kneading it properly inside it. One very important part we always remember is that we always add water slowly. We never add water all together. Keep kneading. When you keep kneading it, you come to an understanding how much water is required in it. If you put all the water in one go, the flour will keep absorbing water. The dough is slightly hard, so I am just adding water to it properly. I have fast forwarded this video a little bit. Your kneading is very important. Once it is nicely kneaded, keep checking whether there are lumps inside it or not. If there are lumps, so obviously we have to keep kneading it properly. Okay, it will take quite some time to knead. Check whether it is soft or not, and then I'll take salt and your fat. Cream the salt and fat. Okay, soften up, because there are sometimes in fat there are some lumps, so make sure all the lumps are removed over there and knead that inside in the dough. Keep kneading till all the fat is incorporated inside it. Once it is nicely kneaded, you know all the fat is incorporated, round it up and keep this dough for proving. Okay, use a damp duster, or you can keep a vessel also on top of it and let the dough prove. Till the time the dough is proving, what we are going to make the pre-press. So I am going to slice the onions, and I have sauteed it, and tomatoes I am going to slice them like this. Okay, don't make very thick slices, thin slices will do. and then there is capsicum. Slice the capsicum. Again same thing, we thin slices, not very thick slices. Before starting with the this thing dough, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grease the tray properly. Greasing is very very important, otherwise your dough, when I'm going to place the bread in this, so if I place the bread just like that, the bread will not come out, it will stick to the tray. So greasing is again very important. Every nook and corner you have to grease it properly. Melted fat you can use for greasing. You can also use oil if you wish to, that's okay. Now because the AC is on, the fat is getting solidified, otherwise during the heat it doesn't happen. Now the bread has proof. The indication whether the bread has proof is that it will double in size. Once it is double in size, I'm going to dust the flour on the table and I'm going to put the dough over there and roll it to the size of the tray. Not applying too much of pressure, so just stay with the help of the scraper, just put the dough over here and roll it properly. Knock back the dough and roll it properly. Apply the this thing on the rolling pin, flour on the rolling pin, and I'm not going to roll it too big, just a little smaller than the tray. Give it nice corners to it. Exact rectangular is not required over here. See, I've taken the measurement over here. A little more is required, so I'm going to roll it a little more. Just lift this up and put it on the tray. Now after putting it on the tray, just make sure it is fitting in that properly, and give nice corners to it like this. Press it properly. If you want to keep it curved, you can keep it curved also, but because we are making a proper rectangular, I am making sure till corner everywhere it is evenly distributed. Some of them, so in that case you don't require this tray, you can take any tray if you just rolling on the oval shape. So different shapes can be made. You can make small shapes and just place vegetables on this. Over here, because I'm making in a rectangular tray, I'm purposely taking a Swiss roll tray over here in which I'm putting it, so I get a rectangular shape. Once that is done, this onions which we had sauteed, the sliced onions, those I'm going to place on top of this. Make sure every nook and corner it is spreaded, because most of the times what happens is you always forget to put it on the corners of the bread. You always put all the vegetables in between. Here I'm making sure that I'm going to place it on the corners of the bread. If you don't want it to be sauteed, that this caramel is almost caramelized, so you can even reduce a little sauteing in this case. Okay, not necessarily it has to be brown in color. Then whatever sliced onions we had cut, just place it. Here the only 3 vegetables I'm using, that is onions, tomatoes and capsicum. Okay, if you wish to, you can put mushrooms, corn, it depends on you. If you want to use chicken, you can use chicken also. Now when I'm using capsicum, just make sure I'm removing the middle seed part, okay, and I'm placing it properly over there. Now as I told you, you can use chicken also, but chicken you have to make sure it is cooked properly, because chicken takes a lot of time to cook. This veggies doesn't take much time to cook, that's the reason I am not cooking them. But onions, because we want cooked ones, it takes time to cook, because otherwise it has this particular smell while eating and a peculiar taste also. That's the reason we have sauteed it already. Okay, always remember to press it properly. You don't keep it just lightly on top of the bread, otherwise while cutting this thing, it will get mixed. Now I'm making a mixture. In this mixture I'm going to mix the mixed herbs, chili flakes and salt together. I'm making this seasoning mixture for the bread especially. just mixing it. It depends on how much you want. You know, I have given in the recipe, I have written 2 grams of each. So if you want it more spicy, you can always put little more chili flakes inside it, or you want more herbs, so you can put more herbs inside, but add little salt to it. It tastes really nice with a little salt to it. Okay, and just mix it, and this mixture I'm just going to dredge, put on the this thing, you know, on the bread. Again, same thing, corners. Remember the corners that are, this is the most neglected part of the bread which is there, that is your corners. Once this is done, then your cheese is there. I'm just going to grate it on top of it. Just grate it like this directly on the tray. You can grate it and keep it, and you can just place it on top also, but in that case what happens is that the bread, the cheese becomes together, the cheese becomes together over here. That's the reason I'm not doing that. I'm just grating on top of it directly. Once the grating is done, after this, make sure I'm removing everything from the grater over here. Once that is done, I'm going to let this tray proof, okay, and send it for baking. Once it comes out of baking, what you're going to do, I'm going to loosen the sides and the base properly, because the cheese is there, cheese and the bread get stuck to the sides. Plus it is very important that you have to grease the trays over here properly. Loosen the base over here, and you just lift it and put it on top of the tray.